All right, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover the invisible economic and geographical forces at war inside your home right now. We usually just adjust the thermostat and completely forget about it, expecting perfect comfort on demand. But behind your walls and right under your floors, there's actually a massive, expensive battle taking place between the natural environment and your modern technology. Today, we're going to break down exactly what is happening in that hidden mechanical room.
It really forces us to ask a pretty difficult question. Are our own homes the invisible saboteurs of our comfort and our wallets? We always tend to blame the equipment when things break down, right? But what if the very foundation of your house, the era it was built in, and the literal ground it sits on, are actually the things destroying your machinery?
Well, to figure that out, we are going to look at a fascinating microcosm in Shaker Heights, Ohio. This is a place where history, extreme weather, and geography combine to create the absolute perfect storm for HVAC destruction. By looking at this specific community, which features these beautiful homes built between 1920 and 1960, sitting right in the crosshairs of brutal Lake Erie weather patterns, we can learn some really vital lessons about protecting the hidden infrastructure in our own homes, no matter where we happen to live.
Section 1. Geography and Architecture Sabotage. Let's look at how the very bones of older houses clash with the demands of modern technology.
Here is the core architectural conflict. Picture vintage 1920s Tudor homes equipped with tiny original ducts, going head-to-head with modern air conditioners that desperately need to push air at 600 to 900 feet per minute. It's like trying to breathe through a straw while running a marathon. That is exactly what happens when you try to force modern, high-capacity central air through ductwork designed decades ago, maybe just for gravity heating. The system chokes, the air handlers struggle, and rooms far from the furnace stay completely uncomfortable.
But hey, it's not just the architecture fighting back, the ground itself plays a part. Shifting clay soil beneath the house literally tilts outdoor concrete pads, snapping refrigerant lines like twigs. In places with heavy clay soil, the ground expands and contracts violently with seasonal moisture. So the concrete slab your heavy outdoor AC compressor sits on starts to settle unevenly. It tilts, putting this massive physical stress on the delicate copper refrigerant lines connecting it to your house, until, snap, they crack, and your expensive refrigerant leaks right out into the environment.
Section 2. Common extreme weather failures. When you add extreme conditions to this architectural mismatch, these invisible threats become highly dangerous.
Sitting right in the Lake Erie snowbelt means these systems are constantly battling brutal temperatures and relentless humidity spikes. In the winter, temperatures regularly plunge below 20 degrees, forcing furnaces to run virtually nonstop. Then, come summer, drastic humidity spikes force the air conditioning compressor to work overtime just to wring the moisture out of the indoor air. Add in the rapid temperature swings in spring and fall that continuously expand and contract metal components, and you've got an absolute torture test for machinery.
And this is where the geography gets genuinely dangerous. That specific lake effect humidity can actually freeze inside a heat exchanger, crack the metal, and leak carbon monoxide directly into living spaces. This is exactly why paying attention to your home's hidden systems isn't just about saving a few bucks, it's about life safety. If your system is battling intense winter humidity, the condensation can freeze, crack the primary safety barrier in your furnace, and literally turn your heating system into a hazard.
So, to combat these extremes, homeowners often buy oversized equipment, which leads to something called short cycling. And that's a massive waste of energy that destroys the machinery from the inside out. People think, man, it's freezing here, I need the biggest furnace possible. But if you don't do a proper manual J-load calculation, which is basically just the math pros use to perfectly match the equipment size to your home's exact cooling needs, the system blasts heat, satisfies the thermostat in minutes, and then shuts down abruptly. Then it turns right back on again a few minutes later. This rapid on and off cycling totally ruins efficiency and tears the components apart well before their time.
Section 3. Universal Rules of Thumb. Let's extract some golden rules you can use right now to protect your own home's infrastructure.
This brings us to a highly practical rule of thumb that every single homeowner needs to memorize. It's a single number that solves one of the most stressful dilemmas you'll face. Do I repair or do I replace?
Here's how it works. Say you have a 12-year-old furnace and you're facing a $500 repair bill. 12 times 500 equals $6,000. Because that exceeds $5,000, it's financially smarter to just replace the aging system entirely. This rule is brilliant, really, because it completely removes the emotion from the decision. You aren't just throwing good money after bad into a system nearing the end of its life, especially since a newer, high-efficiency system will immediately start paying you back with lower utility bills.
Okay,
Here's another incredibly simple yet vital number that can literally save your system's compressor from instant death.
This is the 3-minute rule. If you impatiently crank the thermostat down immediately after the AC stops, you force the compressor to start against immense high pressure, causing massive electrical stress and premature failure. Your AC system operates using highly pressurized gases, right? When it turns off, that pressure needs a minute, well, 3 minutes to balance out. Modern thermostats usually have built-in delay timers for exactly this reason, but if you're ever manually toggling your system or dealing with an older thermostat, remember this rule. And hey, if your system is turning itself on and off within a 3-minute window on its own, you've got a short cycling problem and need to call a pro immediately.
Keeping those rules in mind really helps you maximize lifespans. Generally, furnaces outlast air conditioners and heat pumps, assuming you keep up with basic maintenance. A gas furnace usually runs about 15 to 20 years, an air conditioner averages 12 to 15, and heat pumps, since they run year-round for both heating and cooling, sit right around 10 to 15 years. But a quick warning, skipping maintenance, dealing with undersized ductwork, or battling extreme temperature swings like those in Ohio will absolutely chop 30% right off these numbers.
Section 4. The cost of comfort. Let's look at HVAC pricing and see how this all translates into actual dollars and cents based on the size of your home.
As your square footage scales up, the hardware requirements change drastically. A compact 1,200 square foot home can get by with a 60,000 BTU furnace and a 2-ton AC unit, keeping you nicely under $8,000. But if you double the size to a 4,000 square foot estate, your costs don't just double, they can skyrocket up to $20,000. That's because you're now looking at massive 160,000 BTU outputs, 7 tons of cooling capacity, and very likely the need for dual-zone systems just to keep temperatures consistent across multiple floors. But remember, existing duct conditions, specialized zoning, and labor rates for EPA-certified technicians will shift those baseline costs considerably. For instance, if you live in an older bungalow that never had central air and you need entirely new ductwork installed, you can add another $2,000 to $4,000 to your bill right out of the gate. And don't forget the expertise required. By law, anyone handling refrigerants has to be EPA certified. You are paying for highly specialized labor to ensure the job is done safely and legally. Ultimately, your absolute best financial defense is to plan your replacement during the mild shoulder seasons, skipping those frantic, expensive emergency winter or summer spikes. If your system dies during a polar vortex or a massive July heat wave, you are at the mercy of emergency pricing and zero scheduling flexibility. By taking a proactive approach and timing your purchase for October or April, you avoid premium fees, you can compare multiple quotes, and you might even grab some previous year model discounts from manufacturers.
So looking at your own home through the lens of Shaker Heights, what unseen structural or geographical forces are currently plotting against your comfort? Are your ducts properly sized? Is your outdoor compressor sitting on shifting clay? Are you rapidly cycling your equipment to death without even realizing it? By understanding these hidden mechanics, you can finally take control, extend the lifespan of your expensive machinery, and actually win the battle for your home's comfort. So take a walk around your mechanical room today. Is your home's hidden infrastructure a well-maintained machine, or is it silently preparing to lose the battle against the next extreme season?